Everyone. Today, I'd like to share the story of the person who has always been one of the biggest inspirations in my life. My mother. My mother was born in a tiny village on the other side of the planet. It's one of those places you read about online, so deeply rooted in philosophies and beliefs that many of us consider archaic. For example, my mom just barely survived the day she was born. The day her family nearly decided to kill her because she was a girl. Her family had started planning her arranged marriage by the time she was 9 years old, and nobody expected or wanted her to get an education past the 4th grade. Nobody, that is, except her. My mother broke through every obstacle thrown in her way. Problems ranging from the lack of transportation in her village to the minimal support from her community. She worked through sweltering afternoons and frigid evenings because she realized that when the only path laid out for her was one that she could never be happy with, she would have to make her own. My mother broke records with her high school exam scores and went on to graduate from one of the top universities in India. She worked day in and day out because she refused to let some tradition keep her from her future. She decided that she was not happy with the life she had been assigned. So she took matters into her own hands and stands as a reminder that when all is said and done, we are the makers of our fates and the deciders of who we are. It becomes so easy to succumb to everybody else's voices in our heads, to give up and settle within these pre-provided boundaries. But nothing extraordinary comes out of the ordinary. We need to know that when all of the voices fight battles in our heads, an ongoing chorus of do this, be that, the one voice that rings out clearest should be our own. The fact is, it will never be simple. We cannot choose the worlds that we are born into. Life deals us all hands that we won't always be happy with, so it is how we play our cards that win us the game. We make the choices that define who we are, choices like who we surround ourselves with, and the effort we put into our work. These choices are what shape our success, from the big things, stories that inspire awe in newspaper articles, to the little things, smaller victories, like an A on a project with a partner you didn't know how to work with, or placing first on an unexpected Kahoot because you were up late studying the night before. These prove that, in the end, we are the only people who can decide how much we can accomplish, and we do so through the virtues we instill into ourselves. Hard work, responsibility, caring, positive attitude. Diablo Vista has taught us these traits, taught us that, in situations beyond the reaches of our power, the only way to retake control is through our character. Now, high school is the beginning of a new chapter. It is a blank page, crisp, fresh, and ready to be filled with new ideas and experiences. Opportunities like these come few and far in between, so when August High rolls around, be who you want to be. Take everything you've learned these past 3 years and use it to invent yourself anew, to develop upon who you are. Define yourself, redefine yourself, because we are not our circumstances. We are what we make of them. A couple of years ago, my family visited my mother's village again. I remember it in flashes, villagers beaming at her, proud aunts kissing our cheeks, and a group of schoolgirls crowded around my mother, telling her about their own plans to grow up and do something big, plans to become doctors, lawyers, dancers. And I remember thinking how much of a difference it can make when one person decides that they are more than what has been set out for them. My mother marked out her own path and left behind the tools for every other girl in her village to do the same. In her little corner of the universe, she made the difference and proves that we all can too. When we break free of our boundaries, we change the world in ways that are both big and small, and we must continue to do so far into the bright, bright future. Thank you.
Okay, we're getting close to that moment you've all been waiting for.